Hey YouTube, Shuken Shinobi here with a review of the Power Rangers Megaforce Sky Brothers Zord Vehicle and Red Ranger. So, like I said in the previous reviews, this is how they decided to release the header sets over here. They attached them all to Zords, or rather they attached them all to this jet thing, which I think is nice. Like I said before, it does give the headers, or in this case the Zords, something to do that's not just sit in a box or attach at a random point or anything like that. And it is pretty neat that they were able to do that. Anyway, comes with a crappy figure and 2 power cards. So, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get it open and take a look. Alright, so here we have the Sky Brothers Zord Vehicle out of the package. Right away you can notice that it's a little bit different than the others because it does have this huge middle piece right here. This is the head crest for the Hyper Gosei Great combination in Goseiger. This was attached to Data's Hyper in that show, but since we aren't getting Data's Hyper over here, he'll be remangled and turned into something different as the character Tenso. So they're evidently going to try to cut him out of the Megazord footage, or at least toy-wise cut him out, because we ain't getting one right now. But his head crest component was released with this, and then his exclusive Zord little header thing is getting released as a separate cycle later on in the toy line. So we will take a look at the Hyper combination minus the Hyper Zord at the end of this review, but I'll go over it again in more detail with the actual cycle whenever that comes out. So you get that piece, and then it comes with the Ptera Zord, a pterodactyl, the Hawk Zord, it was the Taka header in Goseiger, and Taka is Hawk, and the Crow Zord. Now, I'm not sure if they're actually going to call this the Crow Zord. They could easily turn this into the Dove Zord, or the Pigeon Zord, or the Swan Zord, or something. They could turn it into pretty much any generic bird they wanted to, since it doesn't actually give off any crow-esque qualities. So they could turn this into whatever, but it's the Crow header in Japan, so for now I have to stick with the Crow Zord. So, yeah, it's the same exact one as all the others. All the same parts pop on and pop off, and it's bright red, and this figure is horrible looking, but it's at least got a decent enough looking crest on the chest to not be absolutely horrible. Helmet is sculpted, it does rotate, the arms do rotate, and the rest of the figure is crap because it's stuck in the stupid C position, and he's done. So pretty neat overall. I do like the red color. It is very vibrant, and considering that these are both red too, you got a lot of red, just like the blue one had a lot of blue. But still pretty cool, and I think this kind of gives it an overall better, more hulking appearance, I think. So that's pretty neat as well. And yeah, it rolls, because these all roll. So yeah, like I said, it comes with the Ptera Zord, the Hawk Zord, which I guess could change into the Eagle Zord maybe, or some other generic big mighty bird. And the Crow Zord, which could be any bird ever. So in Japan, these had a different set of little action features, which this set has none of. It doesn't have anything. So this was the Ptera's header in Japan, and like I said, it can go like that, and you had a little gun in here, and that's what that did. As you can see, there is quite a big size difference and a few missing paint details. The mouth on this one doesn't even open whatsoever. It does still rotate down. The Crow Zord, the Crow header in Japan, also had an opening gun mouth thing, and folded like that. This one does not open whatsoever. It doesn't even have a line in here to designate that it would open. And again, paint details are missing, but it can still do that. And then finally, the Taka header in the Hawk Zord. Huge size difference. This was one massive header, and it was actually, I think, the biggest one that was ever released, header-wise. It had a button right here that you press, and that opens up to make the 3-crown crest thingy for the Sky Gosei Great. This one you have to open up manually, but it still does it. And paint applications in the helmet mode are actually pretty much all kept outside of that visible screw hole. From the side here, you're missing a tiny bit, and this was changed to gold instead of white. But outside of that, the Hawk Zord actually retained most of its paint applications and everything, so that's not all that bad, but it's not particularly great either. The lack of paint applications on these Zord vehicle ones really bothered me, especially considering how well the ones on Gosei Great Megazord look. Phoenix was the only one that actually took a decent hit with that pink stripe missing. So it's a bit of a shame that the ones in the Zord vehicle set are really, really missing a lot of paint. But that aside, you can make the Sky Megazord, as always. So let's bring in Gosei Great. And all of our action is entirely up here on the Dragon Megazord ports. So we don't have to move around or anything like that. 2 power cards were included, the Sky Megazord right here, and the Sky Brothers Zord card, which was P041, and the Sky Megazord is P103. We'll take a look at these in the Gosei Morpher whenever the Gosei Morpher actually gets released. But yeah, so let's go ahead and make this combination. The Crow Zord is going to go on this port right up here. Right there. The Ptera Zord is going to go on this port right here. While the Hawk Zord is going to make the head right there. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a pilot, I think. Maybe with the goggles and stuff on the helmet. I'm not sure what's going on here. And then there's birds on the shoulder. I'm not sure why. But this is what Japan went with. So this is what we get. It's a lot less menacing looking when you can't open up the mouths on these ones and open up the guns. So that's a real big shame, I think, because at least those ones had guns in their mouths and it looked like it could do something. Right now it just looks like it could peck you to death. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, I think. And here are the two side by side. Like I said, retains a lot of its just normal featureness. But without those mouths opening up to reveal the guns, I think it loses a lot of possible empowerment or something along the lines of that. It just looks very derpy with a pterodactyl and a bird attached to your shoulder, and that's it. So anyway, like I said, you can make the Hyper formation right now, minus the Hyper Zord, which just pegs onto a random thing. So it's not really all that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. We're going to need all of our Zords. Alright, first, remove all of the Zord components from the Gosei Great Megazord. Except the dragon, we didn't need to remove that one. Fold the wings down. Which you can't see right now, but fold them down anyway. Just like that. Take the Ptera Zord, attach it down here. Take the Rhino Zord, attach it down here. Take the Manta Zord and attach it right here. Take the Hawk Zord and attach it right here. Alright, Tiger Zord, Shark Zord, Snake Zord, and Phoenix Zord. The Saw Shark is going to go right there. The Beetle Zord is going to go right here. We're actually getting somewhere. Take this crest piece and just clip it right onto the helmet. As you can see, there's a peg and a hole. You just kind of sit it in like that. Bam! Helmet. Flip him around. We're going to take this piece, detach these, and there are little tiny hole peggy things that pop out of here. Gonna align the holes and attach those right down here for no apparent reason whatsoever other than they needed a place to put those pieces. Alright, so take this, attach this one right here. Take the blue one and attach it right on the other side. Right here, this is your replacement for Data's Hyper, this backpack made up of Y-Wings. And that will attach right here. Just plug that in. It should stay pretty secure. Attach the Crow Zord up here. He'll be a little bit crooked. Attach the Ptera Zord up here. He'll also be a little bit crooked because they don't know how to be aligned properly. Hammer Shark goes right here, and voila, you have the Hyper Gosei Great Megazord. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be called because it's Hyper Gosei Great in Japan, and they haven't really changed any of the names. So I'm going with that. The Hyper Zord, or whatever they call it, will be right here. We'll take a look at this again in more detail when the actual little Zord, little PC thing is released. But here's a little sneak preview of the Hyper formation. So many faces. So obviously this is a must-have if you're going for all of the Zords. I do like the little red jet thingy. The inclusion of the piece for Hyper Gosei Great is a nice addition as well as a way to get that. And the end formation is probably my least favorite of the three, but it's still decent enough in its own right. I just kind of figured something with the sky would have probably had the wings back to make it look like it was flying like the other ones, but pish posh, whatever. Really cool. It's disappointing that they don't have the guns in the mouth, mostly because that was this whole system. This is how it attacked. It fired lasers out of the bird mouths. But that being discluded is a little bit of a letdown, considering Ptera Zord still has his. But outside of that, it's still really cool. $17.99 at Toys R Us. They're probably going to be about $14.99 or so everywhere else. So keep an eye out at other retailers pretty soon. They should be popping up within a month or two. So very cool. Definitely recommended. And the Hyper Gosei Great formations are actually pretty cool. And we'll take a better look at that come the Hyper Cycle or whatever they want to end up calling it. That has the Hyper header on it. So we can finish off this formation. So you can check out ShukaShinobi.com for updates on my reviews and hauls. And be sure to check out my Gosei versus Megaforce toy comparison article, which will be up shortly, if not already. And be sure to check out RidersRangersAndRambles.com, the podcast bringing the latest token news in the credits way possible. So take care and have a mega day. I'm never going to say that again, I promise.